It's that time again. Grab a friend, sit down, no one to bit. Tack and J, keeping it real. Can't you see the appeal? They got the jokes, the smoke, and the current events. You know the deal. Soak up that lemon water, tell all your friends. Encouragement for your flourishment is where we begin. Have you heard of it? It's sustenance. Where have you been? Free your mind.
Welcome back to another episode of Living Water Chronicles podcast, man. I'm your host, Tag. And tonight, we have someone extra special. Someone you've never seen before. But there she is right there at your door. Just Erin. Yeah.
Hey.
Give it up for Just Erin, y'all, man. Shoot, man.
Golf clap.
Golf clap. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Trying to get well and wealthy out here.
Let me hit you with this one. What was your peak of the week?
Peak of the week. Okay. Yeah. So today, started my morning off right, got up. And I was able to talk to someone about a business venture that I have been praying and manifesting on for about a year now. I won't speak too much on it because, I don't want to jinx nothing or nothing like that. But everything went well and it seemed like a new door is opening, if that, make any sense. So, yeah, that was my peak of the week so far, because the week ain't over, but yeah.
So new ventures, a lot of things going on. And then for everybody that doesn't know about Erin, she is a basically becoming like a fitness guru. She's a brainiac. Can I talk about what you do in real life?
Sure.
She's an engineer. What else we got? She was in the band in school. She's musically inclined.
MMW one time, A&M stand up. You already know.
And she got good hair, good skin, and she black. Man, show them the shirt you got.
Yeah. A little melanin popping.
It's Black History Month, you guys. So
You already know I had to wear it for the
cover. Had to represent. Well, we're glad to have you on the show, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, well,
what we talking about today?
Man, we're gonna talk about that you said we're talking about post-pandemic energy. So, like, what is that? And what do you think it is? And like, how do you think we should break it down? Like, I'm kind of open.
Okay, so when the pandemic hit, it took everybody for a huge turn, a huge 180, right?
Right.
So now, not necessarily post-pandemic, but we are, I guess, dimming down from it being an actual pandemic. So now people are trying to get into the rhythm of working or not working. And, attitudes have changed with certain people and just living is different, doing everyday things is not the same anymore. Like for me, wearing a mask now is my norm, where 2 years ago it wasn't. So, and I think those, the way that our behaviors had to shift, that created an effect in our attitudes and, just everyday behaviors and the energy that we have now. I think post-pandemic energy is kind of like shifting into a new culture for Americans, maybe. Yeah, Americans, just people in general.
So, with that being said, we'll lead in. This is a question that we usually ask every time.
Okay.
And of course, you've heard the term, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But the question that we ask here is, Erin, when life has given you lemons, how have you made lemon water?
When life has given me lemons, how I made lemon water? Well, Okay, so if a person is throwing me lemons, then I pick up them lemons and throw them back, and pop, pop, but
A lady for violence. I like it.
But if somebody if a person is giving me lemons, I would first analyze why that person is doing whatever they're doing to me, and then try to understand it from their point of view and go from there. I'm not about to let nobody just be chucking huge lemons at me. I'm gonna just say that. But
goes without saying.
Person, I analyze it and then just see how I can go about it in the most calm way possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's just something that is just from the Lord, if it's just something that just happens in my life, I mean, yeah, if it's just something that happened in my life, I'll just try to pick up where I left off. I try not to let the fact that something has gone wrong in my life, I try not to let that affect what I want to move forward with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fair. And so like me, speaking of moving forward, like what we just started through talking about like what this episode is about. So tonight's episode is pretty much it is derived around post-pandemic energy, but we're gonna talk about a few things if I can remember them because my brain. How have you been moving forward through the pandemic? Like you said, wearing a mask is a norm now. Social distancing at one point in time, but people have pretty much done away with that. Like, have you ever experienced COVID personally? Like, have you had it, like, and beat it, or have you not had to deal with it?
Okay, so I would say maybe about a month ago, right after the new year, I was sick with COVID.
Okay.
I had been around, family members and friends of the family during the holidays and caught COVID. It was bad.
Yeah.
I only had it for 24 hours because of the preparation that I put in during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I was working out heavily. I got into wellness and nutrition and trying to, get my mindset right for the next stage that was to come, because like I said, it was a complete 180 for everybody.
Right.
And I didn't want it to be that for me. I wanted to adjust as the lemons started coming in. I wanted to be, dodging them lemons. So I got into wellness and with that and me being in contact with COVID, I think that journey helped me only have it for one day. Now, granted, that one day was a hell of a one day.
Yeah, like what were your particular talk about like your particular symptoms that you experienced and yeah, like how did you overcome
it? Yeah, so my symptoms, I had very bad muscle aches, chest aches. My whole body was shut down. I was sweating really bad. I had a headache. Nothing like a cold or flu that I'd ever had. And it gave me like kind of like labored breathing. It wasn't bad, but it was enough for me to notice. And the things that I did were I pretty much stuck to my daily routine, which is drinking my lemon water.
It's my daily routine.
I got that too. But I gotta have my water to stay on my wellness. So I was drinking.
How much water do you drink a day?
I would say I probably drink at least a half a gallon a day.
Okay.
And if I don't have a half a gallon a day, the next day I'm gonna drink probably the rest of it because my body gonna be thirsty.
Thanks.
But yeah, so drinking water, and then I did some extra remedies. Brinka, your beautiful wife, gave me some tea a while ago.
Gabby Steve's coming soon.
Like a year ago. Yeah, she really needs to put this out. And that tea helped me with my breathing because it had burdock root in it and stuff. And so that was one of the things that I did. And I continued to move and stay active. If it wasn't me going hard in the gym, I was stretching, I was walking, I was doing something. So yeah, that's how I overcame COVID one day.
So did you go box with COVID, like while you had it?
Yes, I did. But in my defense, I was fully protected. I had a mask on, I had all type of gloves, gear, excuse me, long sleeves on, long pants, so I wouldn't spread anything. And I excuse me, I also told the trainer, Erin, Emotion Fitness, follow him. But I told him, hey, I might have it, so put your mask on, mask up, but I need to get this workout in. And he was okay with it because, you know, he's a wellness person too.
Yeah, and we'll have him on there too at some point.
Mm-hmm. Have you like had COVID, and how long do you have it? How did you get over it? Like, what was the deal?
Yeah, I did. I actually had COVID in the end of December. It was like the end of 2021 going into 2022. So it was a hell of a way to spend my New Year's. I feel like now the preparation that I did before, like I restarted my workout journey in like 2018 and like kicked it off. And that's when I also like went vegan for about a year or two as well. And, you know, I was chasing that like real hard. And Erin, okay, the backstory is Erin used to work at the gym that we used to box at. And so she would be like, it's like seeing me every morning, and it'd be like 6 a.m. Like I'm there 6 a.m. every day. And so she'd be like, you here again? All right.
You're keeping it consistent.
Exactly. And then the cool part was like they were supposed to charge us like $5 or whatever. So I would pay it sometime. But then she'd be like, man, you taking care of your body. You need to go on up there, man. You can't be worried about this $5 like that. And I was like, all right, I'm going up.
I'm glad I don't work there no more.
Oh yeah. We guess what I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't say the name or none of that, so they don't know what we're talking about. It was just a gym that we worked at.
If you know, you know.
But that's not what we do all the time either for disclaimer purposes and all that shit. But yeah, I had COVID December like the 27th through the 1st or the 2nd of January. And so like when I went to get tested, I was positive. My wife was negative. That shit was crazy. And so it's like that. And then like a dude where I got it from, he called and said, hey, you know, I have it. But he called me and I was fine. I had two home COVID tests. They were both negative. And I was like, okay, I must be good. But I was just tired. Like I was just really tired.
You were able to find the at-home COVID test?
Yeah, we ordered some off of DoorDash.
Wow. Okay, so where I live, there were no COVID tests anywhere.
Well, there weren't after we got, those were the last 2 in the store. And then those are like we ordered 4 of them. Those were the last 4 that were available for us to get. And we couldn't find any more from that point on. So, I mean, you know, that was that week, but then it's like the next week, like I guess shipments or whatever came in and now everybody can get them. Oh, and then like for a disclaimer, for people who are looking for COVID tests, you can get them. You just have to, there's a link that's been going around. People have been texting saying you can get 4 free COVID tests for per household. I don't know if you got that link or not, Erin, but there's a link. So like, you know, ask somebody for the link and I guess
you have to be a homeowner.
That's wild. So, right. So if you live in an apartment, well, we get one.
You get one?
Yeah, you should get one because we live in an apartment too.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, just follow the instructions on the link and it'll say whatever. And so like, and if you have a PO box, it'll let you do it to a PO box if it's not registered as a business. I learned that the hard way because I have a couple different businesses, and so they have PO boxes, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, so yeah, I had it, and it was about like a 10-day stretch for me. not like 10 days, but the worst, I had like three to four really bad days. And so they weren't back to back. It was kind of like Tuesday, bad. Wednesday, I'm thinking I'm all right. But then it's like, I feel like shit in the morning, and then I wouldn't feel good until like 8 o'clock at night. So the whole day would go by, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to do stuff. I can try to figure this shit out. Couldn't do nothing. And so it's like, I knew something was wrong when I was like at the computer trying to, like, I do a lot of editing and video and all that kind of stuff. And so I was sitting there, I'm falling asleep at the desk. Like, I can't even keep my eyes open, and I'm hot. Really? Yeah, I'm hot. I'm hot and cold at the same time. I think I had a fever of like 102 or 103. Ooh. But like, what I'll say is that the preparation that I put in with all those working out years and stuff like that, I actually had slacked up on it in the months of like June, July, August. I started slacking off. We relocated, and so I'm getting used to being relocated and job situations and trying to figure that shit out. And it's like jobs that I've been losing because they're the COVID protocols and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's just, it is what it is. But there's always still a way for you to, make honest money doing whatever it is in whatever field you want to do it in. But I ended up beating it. I mean, I beat it. Like, I didn't get into fusion therapy or anything like that. I didn't refuse it. It just wasn't offered. Like, he didn't offer it. And so he was like, no, you can, he was like, water, fruits, vegetables, you have to move. He was like, you have to exercise. So if all you can do is just like 5 jumping jacks for the day, then that's all you can do. If you can do less than that, then you can do that. He's like, push up or anything. Like, and so, I'm listening to him. And at the time I was pretty gassed because the first night was pretty rough. Like, I had that 102 fever. I'm on the floor, in the living room, like curled up like a child, like shaking.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, bro. It was crazy. Like, it wasn't easy, but it was bearable because I believe that all the effort that I put in with my immune system naturally is what carried me through. So if I had not done all that work, from 2018 until now, then I probably really would have been fucked up, like royally. And shouts out to those that have had to unfortunately have lost their loved ones throughout this process, and then the disclaimer is we are not doctors. We are not, what else? I can't think of any of that. We're not doctors.
Medical professionals.
We're not medical professionals.
None of that.
We are giving our encounters of how it affected us as we went through it. So I would be sure to do a voice recording before that for the sake of the episode. But yep, had it, beat it. Not trying to get it again, but I understand that we're living in a time where it's very possible. And it's like, they got us like kind of like shook thinking that we sick all the time because you have a little tickle in your throat or something and you're like, oh, like, what, do I have COVID again?
Somebody cough and everybody looking around like you got it. And then they trying to put the C word on you like,
Nah, man. And then people they hiding it. Social media, like, you can't talk about it on social media without them reviewing it. And so, like, I'm pretty sure this episode, they'll be like, oh, you talked about COVID-19 this episode. We're going to have to review it. And it's like, well, I mean, we didn't really tell anybody what to do, what not to do. It's just kind of like you make your own choice what you want to do.
Do what the doctors tell you to do. Mm-hmm. Do what you feel.
And then learn how to be your own doctor as well. Like, don't depend too much on someone else to save your life.
Ding.
So
let me ask
go ahead.
So what was after you had experienced COVID, what was that first day where you felt like you were totally normal, what was it like for you during that time? Like after, had your mind shifted in any way? Did you still feel the same way about COVID as you did before? Or what was that? What was that mindset at that point?
The mindset after finishing?
After finishing your 10-day
keyword this. It was different. I'll say that my mind definitely took a big blow because like that's what it did for me, was that it created a lot of self-doubt, and it made it easier for the self-doubt to seep in. And so I think that if I had been watching like the news or anything like stupid or crazy like that, I would have been like real fucked up, because, you know, that's programming of its own and, you know, all that kind of shit. So going outside, like I would go outside and sit on the porch and just breathe for like 15, 20 minutes and just stay in the air. And it's like, I try to go out in the daytime so that way it wasn't cold. The night air can do a lot to you. But yeah, man, like shit, I just fought, bro. Like I just kept fighting. Like I didn't give up on myself, but I knew that mentally it was gonna be a toll down the line. And so like going back to work was a struggle, trying to get back in the swing of things. But fortunately I have, you know, employers that like my CEOs and stuff like that, they are like realistic around this thing. And so it just makes it a lot more bearable to be where I'm at. So I mean, but yeah, it was definitely like a mental pull and struggle on the whole thing, like, you know, and even sometimes now, but it's like what it has done is just give me like the fortitude to get back into mode on like working out and stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, I relocated. I found a boxing gym down here. I just haven't like gone to them yet and did their whole little process, but I found one. I'm gonna get that going. So far, what I have been doing is just mostly focusing on calisthenics and body wise workouts, and like push-ups, sit-ups, and all that, and just staying in the know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just keep it moving. And there's an the apartment complex that we live in has a gym, so I utilize that. But we usually try to go like really early or really late when people aren't in there, so we have the best chance and not running into issues.
Right. There's been tons of people in the gym lately. Like they've been overcrowded.
And what's that like for you? Like when you go to the gym now, as someone who's had COVID and beat it yourself, what's it like when what are you thinking when you walking into a gym and seeing all these folks?
So my first mind automatically goes to, oh my goodness, there are so many people in this gym and I want to leave. That's my automatic first mind when I walk in the gym. But my next mind is that, okay, I'm protected. I have my mask on. I'm here to work on my wellness. I'm going to stay as far away from these people as possible. And if we just class, we just class. I'm gonna pray about it and I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm not gonna ask them or ruin what they got going on, and they not gonna ruin what I got going on. But it doesn't excuse the fact that I see like, and I get a little bit anxious in the beginning that it's all these people around and there's no way we can stay 6 feet apart because there's only a few inches in this gym.
And then too, you know, the virus itself travels up to 26 feet. So 6 feet is the best that they can offer us because everybody is kind of like, you know, pushed together anyway.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with anxiety? Like you talked about being anxious. Like, how do you deal with it? What's Erin's process of dealing with anxiety?
That's a good question because a lot of times I'll say I really don't have a process for dealing with anxiety, and I probably should get one, but a lot of times I don't know what I'll be anxious about until I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I get into that moment and I start to panic, well, I guess my process is I kind of try to like dial back and look at things from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
And try to, you know, calm myself down and be like, okay, it's not that bad. I'm just in my head. Or if I'm feeling really anxious, I'll like have those moments where I'm able to talk to you or talk to one of my other friends and be like, okay, am I tripping? You know, are you feeling what I'm feeling? You know, no, for real. Are you feeling what I'm feeling? Can you relate? And like, what do I need to do? Give me some steps. You know, I've really been trying to work on communication and not just, you know, being in my head, because that's what gives me anxiety. Sorry, I got this pen in my hand, but yeah, that's what
Nah, I mean
That's
the pen helps you converse well.
yeah,
Do
the
it.
pen,
Pen, bro. Like, yeah,
the
like
pen helped me though.
I got
But
yeah, whatever this is. Yeah.
yeah, whatever that is. But yeah, I try to get outside my head. That's my process. Get whatever way I can find to get outside of my head. I try to do that to control my anxiety. Whether that be meditation, taking a step back, looking at everything from an outside perspective, or just talking to somebody else.
That's real.
I never really realized I had a process for that until, now.
But I mean, I think that's good. And that's the thing with COVID, it's helped us to like sit down and look at ourselves and look at everything that's going on instead of it just being like, I feel like that's what me and Brinker were talking about the other day. Generation that came before us was like the activity generation. And so like they were taught to just keep doing a bunch of stuff to keep themselves busy. So they didn't have to think about the stuff that was bothering them. But the problem with that is that you lack, you lack beating anxiety and stuff like that because you don't face anything. Like all you do is just keep going to church, or you keep going to work, or you keep, I'm gonna go to the gym for about 2 hours. It's gonna distract me from the shit that I got going on. It's like, well, it's almost like how people talk about like drugs, they smoke, drink, or whatever they do, go get turned up. But it's like when they come down from that high, those problems are still there.
Still there, right.
And if you're not prepared to face them properly, then you're just gonna end up having a hard time trying to navigate through life without recognizing something that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? For yourself and for your mental health, etc. Like for real.
And also post-COVID, I think people have realized that they need to communicate more and understand more. And I do think that the older generation is having a really hard problem, having trouble doing that.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot.
Don't get me started. I mean,
you might well go ahead and go.
I can go there. Look, I can go there.
Just the Lemon Water Chronicles podcast, man. I encourage people to be their full selves when they come on. So let it all fly.
Well, okay. Well, I will say, post-pandemic, my energy has been more of a understanding energy. I'm trying to communicate energy, and that's because number one, we don't know when the final say is. We don't know, how this pandemic, post-pandemic, how it's gonna go. We don't know what direction the world is going in, and now we're having to adjust. And I think that the older generation is having a very hard time coping with that because they've never done that before. And I think that it would be helpful, and if anybody is over the age of 50 watching this, I think it would be helpful if you guys, I'm talking to the 50 plus people, would just try to understand people on a just the most basic level possible.
I agree.
And learn to understand people on the most basic level. Don't try to force whatever has been forced upon you upon them, and that goes with people that their peers. If you 50 and plus, that goes for you and your peers, and that goes with us in the younger generations as well. Like, how do you feel about the 50 plus generation just being able to understand and communicate?
How do I well, yeah, I go back and forth with it because like a lot of the folks that I work with, like my bosses and stuff like that, they're over 50, and their thought process, like some of them, you can tell the ones that have chosen to stay where they were, like they got to a certain point and they said, okay, I'm not going past this and I'm not going to break on these things. And they're like really old understandings of like the ways people live their lives of today. And they can't bring themselves to accept it. And so the danger with that is that, you know, you can't carry everybody with you. Like I'm a strong believer in like only taking those that deserve to go on the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like just the ones that, you know.
Oh, that's a word.
Oh, which part?
Taking those who deserve to go on the ride.
Yeah, only take the ones that deserve to go on the ride, man. And it's like there's an African proverb that's if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And so that's an African proverb that speaks to me. And I actually have it up here somewhere, but I keep it around to remind me that I can't do everything alone. I can't do like I wanted at one point in time, I wanted to be an island. And sometimes I still am in certain regards, because like you can't trust certain people with certain pieces of work or things that you just know that you want to do. And everybody don't understand like your story. Everybody doesn't understand like how you do stuff. And so the same thing applies to each individual. So I feel like the 50-year-old plus generation, that's like, I would say from outside looking in, that's their mindset, is that they don't understand how I'm doing it, but this is the way I'm doing it because, and I'm going to continue to do it. Now, what I feel like another part of their generation is they usually speak out of turn when it comes to stuff. And then they'll like nail home their point of view so that you get what they're saying. But then as soon as you start coming at them with some realness or whatever, they ain't trying to hear that for real. They'll change the subject, or they'll try to make you feel bad with an emotional response or something that pulls at you emotionally that could potentially detract you. So it's like learning about detachment, learning about life after death and stuff like that. It's like learning about those kind of the things that they used to use to scare us with are the things that we need to, those are the things that we need to learn about instead of being afraid, instead of just choosing to be afraid about the things that they taught us like at church and stuff like that, like God and the devil and demons and all that. It's like, try to understand that stuff. Like try to go and look at it and see it for what it is, as opposed to just going with what the, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not the do generation anymore. I feel like the generation that came before us is more so like the do generation, because they'll do whatever was set before and from before. And the one that we're in is more like the question generation. Like we're asking why, and we want to know more about it, and we're open to understanding. That's not to say that the previous generation was not understanding, because I think every generation has some kind of space,
kind of understanding,
sometimes
type of common sense to grasp what's going on.
For sure. That's that's what I would say to it. That was a long ass answer, but I think that's what
I mean, but you answered, so yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Do you think that our generation will be able to communicate that to them successfully?
Communicate what?
Communicate that older generations should be more open to understanding and communicating. Do you think that that's something that we can talk to the older generations about successfully?
I feel like that's a two-way street. Like if the other side is willing, like what you said, willing to communicate, they got to be willing to listen. Because I feel like a lot of people they're always willing to listen to respond, but never willing to listen. They're never willing to listen to internalize. So they kind of like, or they do internalize, but then it's like they're only going to internalize up until a certain point before they have to say what they have to say. And so one thing I can't stand personally is like when people talk over each other, when they're talking we're in a room and everybody talking at the same time. You don't have a clue what's being put across, or like what's what, but it's like, here you go saying something and they saying something, and it's like, well, this is how we talk. And it's like, is it really? Because like, how do you like hear what the other person is saying, and how do you know? And it's like, well, you know, we family or whatever. And it's like, all right, I guess when it comes to what we talking about, like, nah, like one person has to be listening and trying to internalize. And then the person that's given the education or given the words have to be, I would say, like somewhat strategic in the process of how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, also do the best you can to lead from a place of love. Like, try not to lead from hate or like past frustration.
And I want to just say that I was only speaking to the people.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I kind of figured that's where you were coming from without saying it.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't trying to be too head ass about that because, like, folks.
Just to be clear, it's backside of the hand history month.
Backside of the hand history month.
Yeah. So I'm just okay. So, how do you feel about the job shift after the pandemic? Like, more people are trying to be entrepreneurs, social media influencers, just not working a 9-to-5. How do you, as an entrepreneur and a person who's had or has a 9-to-5, how do you feel about that?
Well, I was already kind of like on that. I was raised in a family of entrepreneurs, but I also was raised in a family of entrepreneurs that worked 9-to-5. So they did both. I had already started navigating that route when I was working somewhere, like almost every place that I've worked before.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. I think it's good because it showcases what else is out there instead of the regular status quo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of going to get designer clothes and all that kind of shit, there's a whole lot of people that have emerged from the dust with their products and their clothes and, you know, and it's just like, it's cool to represent something that actually came from a person that you can like say that you talk to, instead of it being like, oh, I have this Tommy Hilfiger shirt, or I got, you know, like this, you know, I mean, I fuck with the series Jurassic Park, but like, exactly. But what do you think about it? Like, what are your thoughts?
I'm on the way, honestly.
Tell them what you got going on, man. Because at one point you had this thing called the black box, and then you had
So
yeah, like, you know, let them know.
Everybody that knows Erin knows that she is a hustler. They know that Erin is gonna try to figure out a way to get it when she ain't got it. So with that being said, if you've known me, you've known that I've had several businesses. I've sold hair, I've sold black business items. I have, you know, and the whole purpose for that was for me to try to figure out what was I placed here on this earth to do. You know, some people are born with it. For some people, maybe it's just Maybelline, but for me, I didn't know, you know, how or why I was placed on this earth, you know, to do. So I have to continue to put myself out there to see what I'm good at, to see how skillful I am at these certain things. So what I've been doing recently, I've been getting more into with my wellness. Follow Trial and Erin on Instagram. That's TRIAL, the letter NERIN on IG. But I'm starting to be more public with posting that. And with that, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people telling me, hey, you need to possibly, you know, look at doing this, you know, full time. People are asking, what meal plans are you on? What are you doing? Like, people want tips because they see the results.
Yeah.
And
how much weight have you lost?
I have lost, the last time I weighed, I was about 217.
Okay.
My beginning weight was 255. So
bro, so you're like drastically lighter.
Drastically lighter, but I didn't drop the weight immediately. It was a process. And that's what the page portrays. It shows everybody that, okay, you don't have to drop 500 pounds in a year. You don't have to drink water and nothing else. Like, you don't have to stick to carrots and celery. You can live a life and still see results that you want. You know,
now, I will say that when I was doing mine, you're right. You are very right about you can have like I don't know, whatever you want, like a chicken sandwich, or whatever it is you're gonna have, but you got to balance that shit out. But for me, I was like so like zoned in and head ass about it that I was like, I'm just not gonna eat anything. And it's like I just want to get there. I just want to get there. And so like there's options, but do it. I would say do it in a healthful manner.
Yeah, whatever you can stick to. Like I have different workout buddies and things, and they're always asking me, okay, well, what should I do? What should I do? Take it one step at a time. If you're a person that know you don't like to work out, don't start with going to CrossFit.
Yeah.
Start with walking. If you know that you don't like doing sit-ups, don't do sit-ups. Find another way. And I think that the way that the world has geared us, they've put us on this level that is only one way to do certain things, and that's not how, you know, God or whoever the ultimate power is, that's not how they want it to be. They want us to evolve consistently at a steady pace, you know, and I've really gotten in tune with that. But yeah, that's one of the things that I'm into, nutrition and wellness, and looking into food and how they correlate with behaviors and things like that. I also just got into doing last year's Hit Up Meets by Kay in Birmingham. If you're there, you know, go and get your little lash done, Tercel.
Definitely, you know, whatever it takes to
go and get you a little red.
I mean, yeah, you know, I just got
complete the look.
Pull up on them.
But yeah, I've gotten into lashes recently because I realized that I needed something to do with my hands, you know, a skill to do with my hands. So I got into that. I was into vending machines at one point. You name it, I've tried. The only thing that I have not done is sold drugs, and that's only because I cannot go to jail.
She's like, I ain't got time for that.
I don't have time for that. But because I've tried so many things, because I have a goal that I want to get to. I have family members that I feel that I need to save and to bring them into a world that they've never seen before, that I know, you know, it's possible for us to have. So that is what really keeps me going and keeps me pushing, is the fact that I know that there's another end. The grass is greener, as they would probably say, you know. So yeah, those are the things that I'm into. Jack of all trades, like you said, master of none.
Master of many.
I don't know about that, because
it's coming, man. It's coming.
I'm still working, and you know, things like that. But yeah, that's what I've been into. So have you been, you know, doing anything new? I know you got your podcast and your photography business. What are you looking into getting into this year with that? With those, don't shoot us some knowledge, some info, some insights.
I'll say, like, proud auntie. I think that with the podcast, I'm leading more with the podcast, because for the season, how we do seasons here at Lemon Water Chronicles podcast is based off the year. So as many episodes, we strive to have about 2 episodes a month. Sometimes you might have surprise episodes like this one, because they don't know, you know what I'm saying, they didn't know it was coming, but they knew.
Surprise?
Yeah, you were a surprise episode. And so, you know, they didn't know that this one was gonna happen. Oh yeah, bro. And it's like people like you that are like educated and like funny and cool and all that, you know, we like to have you come back on the show. We haven't had anybody that hasn't been like worthy of not coming back. If somebody asked me, like, have you ever had somebody that you don't want to come back? And I'm like, not for real. I was like, everybody that came on was pretty straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But leading with the podcast more, and it also kind of doubles as like, it also kind of doubles as like a production company itself, because TACLIFEP Productions produces this show. And so
spill the tea now.
I'm back. I'm about to.
So I was asking you, what new things do you have planned for your podcast and your photography business?
I do the same work, but I do it for like multiple companies. So I get contracted out a lot. And so that kind of keeps me afloat. And that's the realistic background behind like entrepreneurship. But as far as like the podcast is actually like, I'm leading forward with it more because it's a good time for it. But beyond that, the podcast kind of works as a production company itself. And so what I'm going to do, basically it'll be, we got like this documentary series coming pretty soon, but the documentary series also doubles as a podcast itself. So like, you know, like, it'll be like an interview style production, but it's not really overproduced. It's more so just me just kind of interviewing some of the favorite people I have. So it's almost like a continuation of what you see here, but just less virtual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in the
So
future,
you're gonna be like Maury.
huh?
You're gonna be like Maury, where you interview him, you know.
I mean, it could be.
Or Jerry Springer.
No, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. He's like, so talk to us about why you cheated on your wife with your cousin. What is that like?
I mean, on the lighter note, I mean, I can't really think of nobody else to compare it to right now. Like, that's prime time.
Is Jerry Springer still come on TV?
Yes, Jerry Springer is a judge.
Oh shit! And so is Steve Harvey.
Right?
But the Steve Harvey show is not that bad. My mom had me watching this shit, and she was like, "It wasn't that bad. Like, he's not a real judge, but it's like the way that he does the cases is pretty neat." And they had one with a photographer where he like had fallen on hard times, and long story short, he ended up giving the dude the opportunity to work on the show as a photographer. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, Steve.
I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I was like, okay, I'm kind of fucking with this. So but I can't say that I'm gonna commit to watching the show. You feel me? Like, I ain't about to record that shit and be like, oh, I can't wait for the Steve Harvey Judge show to come on. But yeah, but I feel like
I saw it was this episode with one of the artists, Sukiyana. I don't know if you're aware of her. She was on there.
She the one with the hair?
She's the one with the everything.
Yeah, wasn't she like on OnlyFans at one point that she stopped doing that? And then
Yes. She had the blonde hair on the episode, but
yeah,
I did see that episode, and the show is entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, it's entertaining, Steve. So yeah, keep hitting us with that. But do they like really get like sentenced on there? Like, I come in, we got beef, I want you to pay me. Can he tell me that you got to pay me or no?
At the most, he'll send it somebody to pay for stuff, but I don't know if it's actually like court ordered. It's more so just him being like, hey, you need to pay him because you wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know what the backstory is to it.
Okay.
But,
so it's not like Judge Mathis or Judge Judy.
No.
Okay.
This motherfucker be on there in a suit. Like a regular ass suit. You know, I'm pretty sure it costs, I'm pretty sure it's expensive. But yeah, motherfucker be on there in a suit, bro, just chilling.
No. He's still doing Family Feud too.
I don't know, but I like the Family Feud show. It's pretty good. I like that show. Man,
them people on that show, okay, first of all, not to be racist because I love everybody, but I'm rooting for everybody black. Every time.
Issa Rae's cousin.
Every time.
Issa Rae,
she a Capricorn, by the way. So yeah, that's my cousin for real. But I'm rooting for everybody.
What signs match well with Capricorn?
Anyone they can get along with.
Oh my God. All right, we're gonna leave that out.
No,
I'm just playing. We leave it in there.
No, I'm for real, because honestly, I don't feel like any type of zodiac don't mesh well. Honestly, for me, it's Aries. Sorry, Aries, if you Aries, forgive me, I might like you, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not. But
I can understand that.
For me,
for many reasons.
It's Aries that I meet, because a lot of the Aries that I meet are very feisty at the wrong time.
Oh,
you know,
man.
and I probably offended a lot of your viewers, but
I only have like 40.
That's just I mean, and all 40 of them, well, no, all 39.
Probably like 13 of them. They probably like, hey,
no, for real.
we don't want you to bring that girl on here anymore.
Like, for me, that's like a character trait that I do not like. And the Aries that I know have this. And I'm not talking about the Aries that I just speak to and pass. And I'm talking about the ones that were really in my life. They just feisty at the wrong time. Like, just chill. Like, I'm a very chill person. I like to talk, you know, obviously. And I don't like all that extra stuff when it's not needed. So if I can avoid that, Aries, I'm going to.
That's fair. I ain't gonna argue with you on that. Like, I'm not even gonna argue with you. I think as a Taurus, I'm a Taurus. I think it's us, like, we're stubborn as fuck. But then on the other side of that, we don't really want no bullshit. Like, I'm like, you know, if you got some bullshit, you just keep it over there.
Facts. Exactly. Exactly.
Go ahead.
We're gonna excuse the fact that wine has been sipped and people are a little, like I said earlier, smashed and dressed. You know, I magically turned my wine clear.
This is the first episode of Living Water Chronicles podcast where we were not drinking water. Just because we drink water does not mean we don't partake in a little bit of wine.
I mesh well with other earth signs,
What that
Leos.
mean?
So earth signs being Taurus, Capricorns, and Virgos. I mesh well with them. I mesh well with Leos, Scorpios, and all earth signs, Leos and Scorpios. Right. Those are my like ride or die signs.
Yeah, I think my wife
that I've noticed in my life, you know.
I think my wife was a Scorpio or Leo. She was Scorpio. But she was talking about a scorpion. And she was like, And I was like, oh, like, you know.
What's that?
This is scorpion. You know, when they do the you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Woo! I'm about to edit all this out, bro. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. We doing it right now, here live on a Thursday.
What does that mean? There it is. You know, like, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. It's out in the open. We all know now.
So this is a part of the show that I like to call the lightning round, formerly known as this or that. It's super simple. It's super simple. I'm gonna ask you, well, you're gonna ask me a juxtaposition of questions, and I'm gonna ask you the same. And it's like you gotta pick one thing or the other. Super, super simple. What that mean?
Have you never seen anybody go like this? When somebody go like this, that mean they about to flame you.
So I've seen it like boy. I've seen that before.
Yeah, same thing.
I remember that. I got flamed a lot. I couldn't like come up with stuff fast enough. I was like, I don't hate people. I don't know how to joke on you.
You just gotta look at what they wearing and be like, you know.
Damn, why it gotta be the clothes?
It ain't gotta be the clothes. It just gotta be like whatever their aesthetic is, you know.
Or is it like how they're wearing it?
So if I was gonna flame you, I'd be like big beard, little lip head, and big.
I got low lip. That's crazy. Damn.
You ain't even let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue roasting.
Not you pausing to let me finish flaming you. No, I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, lightning round, go.
Would you rather have CDs or streaming, and why?
CDs. Oh, because if all the power go out, right? They got portable DVD players that work on batteries. You don't have batteries with streaming. You gotta strictly rely on electricity. But if I got a CD, I can watch Friday on bootleg. I can watch all the Christmas movies on bootleg. Matter of fact, I had every single Christmas movie. I mean, not Christmas movie, but holiday movie on bootleg. Like, you think of a holiday movie this Christmas, bootleg, everything. So yeah, CDs.
CDs, bet that. I think for me, I'm the same way. Like, I feel the same way about DVDs versus like Netflix and all that extra shit. Like, it's cool having it, but it's just not the real film, and it kind of like changes your view. It changes your view on like ownership.
Yeah, and also with streaming, sometimes like you gotta have like top tier Wi-Fi to stream. You know, especially if you got multiple devices, and I'm not paying for that. So I can pay that rinky-dink shit coming off over here. Look, I can pay Man down at the corner store $5 for Man. whatever bootleg I want. So yeah, that's another reason.
All right, Pac or Biggie?
It's hard. No, it's not. Tupac. And not because of the different coasts, but because of the messages that they were portraying in their music. When I listened to Tupac, Tupac was, you know, talking about his mom and how we should respect people, and how, you know, people, you know, are coming up in society, how they being done wrong and things like that. Whereas when I listen to Biggie, I get more of a, you know, a love vibe, a club vibe, you know, like that, you know, and that's cool and all, but we want people to have something something positive that they can revert back to. Not saying that, you know, every single one of his songs was positive, because of course, you know, he called that man a fat, you know that song. But yeah, but his song.
Why you ain't say it? You can cuss.
Because my mama might watch this.
Oh, you're right. Damn, that's gonna make me look like I ain't shit.
No.
You're gonna be like, I don't like that cussing light-skinned boy.
It's okay.
Your mama, like, she don't play no games. I see all the pictures and she be like,
no, my mama real cool person. Like, she'll chit chat with you if you the right person. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
But I respect her by not cussing, and if she just happened to scroll, you know, I don't want her to be like, that's my child on social media.
Oh my God.
But yeah, Tupac. What about you?
I would say the same thing, but a lot of his beats just ride for me. Like
Thanks.
The remixes, and like when Dr. Dre will hook up with him on stuff, it's just vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like for real, like dead ass. Let's do it at the same time. Let's go.
That wasn't the same time.
No, wait. This time. Okay, you ready? Wait, start over. Here we go.
Real.
I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
You waited till like 6.
All right, hold on. On 3, I'm just gonna go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Get it together, band member.
I'm trying. What about home birth versus hospital birth?
Oh, that's deep.
Oh yeah.
That's deep. But off rip, home birth with my own doula and my own, you know, staff. Because
staff? How many people work for you?
I mean, they work for the situation, you know, not for me.
How many kids you trying to have?
2.
Okay, let's go. I can see that.
I want to have 2 kids so they don't get bored, because I'm the only child. But 3 is too many.
Yeah, 3 is a lot. That's like a small team.
Small T.
It
And
is.
just imagine you got 2 adults, then you got 3 kids, and then there might be a dog in there, fish. That's too many
A
responsibilities.
fish. A fish. Hell, I mean, a fish is actually like more manageable than a dog. Like, what?
Oh,
well, yeah,
no,
like
it's not. I've kept the dog alive longer than I've kept the fish alive.
this is true. So have I. 'Cause at one point in time, I had fishes and dogs. And, well, I didn't have fish and dogs at the same time. I had a dog, but then I had fish. Mine is not really working how I thought it was going to work, but I had a lot of animals, and they were
You
mine.
had a lot of animals, and you kept your dogs alive
Yeah,
longer.
man,
than you kept your
dogs
fish
are the
alive.
shit.
Revert back to the question.
Revert back to the question.
Okay, home birth. Because I would get to select everybody on the team. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I think I would feel comfortable in my home. Remember, we were talking about that anxiety stuff, and I get super anxiety going into the doctor's office. Not because I think something's wrong, but because I think they're gonna find something wrong just to charge me for it, and I don't want that happening. So yeah.
Is that what happens every time you go to the doctor? Like, you feel like they're gonna like find something wrong, or?
No, I just doctors want money, and sickness equal money because I'm gonna have to pay for treatment, So I'd rather work on prevention than work on treatment. And doctors don't do that. So yeah.
Okay.
But
we're not doctors. We're not doctors. We're just talking about how we feel about stuff because people be trying to mute people.
Not medical professionals.
Not medical professionals. Okay, those are good topics about birthing home versus being in the hospital. I would not answer that question because I am a man and I don't want to oppose all of those women out there who
mansplaining.
Don't want to mansplain. That's not what we're doing here. Unless I was asked specifically, like, we want to get the man's point of view. But I was not asked that question.
We don't care about it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead. Okay, so what would you be most comfortable with if your lovely wife was pregnant? Hospital or home?
I'll be more comfortable with home because it's where we are, Like, I feel like it would just be more realistic. But then I know that home births also take a lot of preparation, and they also take like a lot of work. That doesn't really scare me that much, but it's just like I would want to be like more like financially secure, more spiritually secure, and more like personally secure. So it's like those are a lot of things that I will have to do the work on.
That should be a standard for like a pregnancy birth period.
I agree. Because I started reading, I got this book. I don't know if it's gonna show up on this blurry screen or not, but it's called The Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. I think everybody was reading this one for a while, or can you see that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's like I got this one and I started reading stuff in it, and it's like it's so thorough that I just didn't really know where to start besides the beginning, I guess. But I just wanted to try to start understanding like womanly stuff. But I mean, if you start to understand like the woman's body, then you equally understand like yourself as a male, because there are feminine and masculine qualities in each one of us. So it's like it's really good for you to be, as a man, in my opinion, it's good for you to be tapped into that kind of stuff, so that way you can provide adequate support for your wife as she's going, your girlfriend, or whatever it is, as she's going into her process to like bring life into the world.
Indubitably.
How you spell that?
Indubitably.
I almost spit this wine all over his microphone.
No, the crazy part is it'd be funny if it started with an E.
E-N B.
Indubitably. Okay, let me ask you one. Since you went to the West Coast and all with the rappers, and I'm not no rap listener, I'm gonna hit you with
the rappers.
Yeah, with the rappers. I'm gonna hit you with the Nicki Minaj or Cardi B. Yeah.
All right, guys, and that's been the Lemon Water Chronicles podcast. We appreciate you guys for coming on.
I had to answer something about rappers that I knew nothing about. So
why do you think I don't know anything about either one of those?
All right, well, sing your best Nicki Minaj or Cardi B song. Go.
Monster, never just stop it. Everybody knows I'm a motherfucking monster. I'm gonna need to see your fucking hands at the concert.
I mean, that sounds accurate.
Mansion, Babylon, ain't you the Babylon, something, Babylon. Yeah, I know. I don't know all the words though.
All right, now let's hear Cardi B.
It's a wet ass pussy. That's all I got. Like I can't think of nothing else. I can't think of nothing else by her. I can't think of nothing else.
So that explained your answer just then.
Yeah, I think that Nicki Minaj was way more influential in a female, in a womanly. Let's just say, obviously she's a woman.
Don't be mansplaining. I said, don't be mansplaining.
Is that mansplaining?
You was about to go there. You talking about as a woman?
No, it wasn't nothing negative. I felt like it was positive, like because it's like she's a woman and she was also a leader in her time, like when she was like that chick for a long time, and so and she was like the only one. But there's like a lot, mainstream. There's a lot of thousands of millions of people that we don't know about. But I feel like she was more influential in the case of like lyricism and stuff like that. I didn't give her a lot of credit back when I was like in that time frame. I didn't really give her a whole lot of credit, but it was also like a lot of Young Money records dropping like 2010, 2011. Like I'm 21 back then, 22, 23. A lot of their albums were dropping around that time. So she was the voice that I consistently heard across the board as a female rapper in a major position. So I would have to say Nicki Minaj. But I hate that people try to compare them because they are great in their own right. You know what I'm saying? As individuals.
As well as the other people that we've compared today. But yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like they you know what I'm saying? Like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, they tried to put them against each other too. It was crazy. Like with the whole industry and stuff like that. But like, I feel like more people, like competition is good, but it's like we always say, like in my little small circle, it's like competition is just you versus you. Like it ain't got nothing to do against somebody external, because how you gonna compete against somebody else for something that's for you? You know what I'm saying? Like now we talking about basketball and all that kind of stuff. I get it. It's a sport, wrestling, football, whatever it is out there that exists where you have two opposing teams. Yeah, but yeah.
I would say Nicki Minaj too. Just cause her music is just like it was a turning point, like you were explaining, for women in rap, and she was a leader and she was a pioneer in her day. Not saying that Cardi B is not, because Cardi B does a lot of things for the community that we don't know. And they don't go into a lot of detail about in the public eye. And she's also a pioneer, but for the time when Nicki Minaj came, she was leading the way.
I'm gonna say one word, and I want you to what words come to mind when I say the one word that I say.
Let's go.
Process.
Consistency.
Okay. Michael Jordan.
Bald head.
I said I love it. I think that's funny.
Okay.
Calisthenics.
Long word. No. Sorry.
Black Lives Matter.
What's the first thing that comes? George Floyd come to my mind. That's the first. Rest in peace.
Spiritual realms.
Real AF.
Communication.
Use it.
Use it.
Use it.
Okay. Lying.
Unnecessary. And I would like to wait. That was a good one right there. We can pause right there. And I just want to say to everybody that has their own house, their own car, pay their own bills, is doing well for themselves, whatever, in any aspect of that. You do not have to lie because you don't have a reason to. You do everything yourself. So why you gotta lie? Why you gotta lie? I just want to say that.
I like how you went up. You went up an octave on that. I like how you went up. Why you gotta lie? I was like,
you ain't gotta lie, Craig.
I feel like I should have harmonized with you, like tried to find, you know how people always put the finger up like it's supposed to be up to them. And in church, they just be doing this. I'm like, you just put your damn hand down.
All right.
Is that a lot?
What was that like? Even more words.
There's nobody else in the studio. It's just me laughing. It's me over there laughing too.
All right. Like you don't have a live studio audience.
I do. It's just one person. She paid for the Patreon. She's right. The only one that pays for the month. $6.25.
That's right.
$6.25.
One subscriber.
Okay. We back to it.
All right.
Plant-based.
Too many vegetables.
What's your favorite vegetable? I'm curious.
What is my favorite vegetable? Oh, I don't have a favorite vegetable. If you would have asked me my favorite fruit, I would have been like, but
what's your favorite fruit?
Watermelon, you know.
Cliche. You know what I'm saying? It's all
very cliche, but yeah, watermelon with the seeds. Don't give me don't give me no seedless watermelon. Vegetable, I would probably have to say cabbage.
Okay. She just like Brinko just said that she over cabbage officially. She said she fucking with the Brussels sprouts more than anything.
You know, I haven't eaten Brussels sprouts. I gave them to my mom when I cook her food. I meal prep for my mom. It's called Trial and Erin. TRIALNERIN. Follow me on Instagram. DM me with your questions. Whatever you want. Whatever you need.
Another question. What's the long goal? Like, what's the Trial and Erin? Like, what is the end goal?
The end goal is for me to eventually become a now I forgot what it's called. But there are people in the world who practice or who study how eating affects behaviors, right? I forgot what the term is. You can look it up on Google. The listeners can look it up. But I want to be able to be one of those people who is able to come to people who don't know why they're overweight or don't know why they're behaving in a certain way. And I want to be able to use the foods that they're eating or use the foods that are out there to connect those dots and try to heal whatever may be hindering them with food. So yeah, that's my end goal. Oh, it's called a nutritional psychiatrist.
So these are called finish the sentence.
All right.
I like it when
I have a lot of money in my bank account.
Respect. Today, I learned how to.
Today, I learned how to communicate business. Remember earlier, I was telling you about what happened this morning, my peak of the day.
What was your pit of the week? Right, you know, the top was the peak. What's the pit?
Pit of the week. Ooh, okay. So I was trying to pay a bill, right? But the bill was a credit card bill, right? And you can't pay a credit card bill with a credit card. But I was getting a refund from something that I had purchased from a credit card that I did not use. So the stupid people from the first credit card people that I was trying to get the money from to pay the other credit card people, they're going to put the remaining balance that I done already paid off on the credit card. How dumb is that? So I was having anxiety that I wasn't going to be able to pay a bill. And if it's on my credit, I ain't having it. So I was about to really call them and be like, okay, well, I need this to be in a debit so I could transfer it to my other credit, but we got it resolved, thankfully.
I feel the frustration.
I'm okay.
Couple dollars.
Right.
The two most beautiful words are.
Well, one of them would be beautiful. And then
I got two in my mind right now.
I mean, but they like sentences though, So
all right, well,
okay.
fucking do.
All right, so wait, okay, so the two most beautiful words I would say are beautiful and love.
In love?
And love. Beautiful and love.
All right, respect. You want to know what mine are?
What are they?
Day off.
I feel that. I didn't know that's where you would go.
Oh yeah.
But okay. I feel it. I 100% feel it, and I would agree. So are you finished with those errands?
I'll never be ready. They'll never be finished. Well, he was mad as shit. That dude, he had to chase him all over the town. And nigga was in the bathtub and shit. You remember that episode?
No.
A little bald head.
Yeah, I remember the episode. Oh, wait.
Back to the questions.
All right, questions.
I'm fascinated by
the metaverse. That's what I'm fascinated by right now. Yeah.
You trying to get in it?
It's really got my attention. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's really, it's interesting and weird at the same time because like, it's like they're creating a whole different world outside of reality. And
well, what is reality really?
Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, reality is literally what we can, well, in my definition of reality, it's like what we can feel and what we can touch, not necessarily what we can see, because the eyes, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and the eyes be, deceiving us. But the things that you can touch and feel, that's what reality is to me. Yeah. And the metaverse right now, from what people are explaining it to be, is something that is not reality. And if it's not reality, then what is it? A fantasy? Like it's weird. So it piques my interest.
What else piques just Erin's interest?
Of course, wellness piques my interest, like, because I love learning about how different foods can prevent certain things, or how different foods cause certain things, and they correlate to how we, the way that we breathe, the way that we walk, the conversations that we have, the mindset that we have is because of some type of thing we have placed in our body, or we haven't put in our body, So, yeah. What about you? What piques Tercel? What piques the Lemon Water podcast?
Oh man, I guess I could say like regaining control around what makes me throttle forward, like positively, a different life than you chased most of your life. So like when I did the whole vegan thing for like 2 years, it was cool. the method that I was taking to stay that way was not really necessarily a healthy one. And I learned that down the line because I was like so focused on being vegan, and vegan was like the only way that was going to save me from everything. And it's like, there's nothing really that exists like that can save you from everything. Like, there's going to be different things that happen to you in life, and you got to face that shit. And so I feel like you can continue to eat a more balanced life, or you can eat more plant-based forward. And so like what I learned from like fasting and meditating, it showed me different parts of the physical realm that exists right here on earth without having to do any type of drug or anything like that. Like no mushrooms. Drugs are not really a mushroom. Mushrooms are not really a drug. Those are ancient medicines that people utilize before, like our ancestors utilized those before we got here. And so I feel like marijuana is kind of like the same thing, but they say that you're supposed to eat it and ingest it instead of like smoking it. So like the world kind of like took that by storm, unless, took off with it. But well-rounded health, and not necessarily just being one way or another.
So another question, you're mostly in the public eye with both of your businesses pretty much.
Yeah.
How does social media pique your interest?
It doesn't as much, but it depends on what I have. Like how your life is a lot like social media. You control what you see and don't see, or within reason. So if you like create your own algorithm, then you can see the things that you would want to see more often instead of seeing things that you don't. But the trick is if you like something in a conceptual sense, you cannot bring it to the front and do it physically. You can't like something, because if you like it, then that tells the machine that you like this, and then they're going to start like generating stuff off like that. So like, it's just somebody I know that their Instagram is just full of like ass, like nothing but booties and titties and all that shit. And so it's like, okay, that's cool in one way, but then the other side is like, that's it though. Like, what else you got on there? He's like, that's all I want on there. And I'm like, all you do is look at that.
Okay. Oh, okay. No controversy here.
It is a little, but I don't really.
It is a little.
It's like I tell people that I strive to keep the show like
canceled.
Right. I try to keep the show pretty like open for people to do whatever, be who they are and stuff like that. And so I don't try to make it too one-sided, make people feel uncomfortable when they come on.
I'm new to this, you true to this.
Well, I really appreciate you participating in the lightning round. I appreciate you, throwing some stuff back at me, like some few zingers. No Where can people find you? What's your message, and then what's next for Trial and Error?
All right, people can find me on Instagram. Please follow Trial and Erin, TRIALNERIN on Instagram. I post videos on there about me working out, eating, just overall wellness living. What is my message to people? Y'all, well, Tercel, my motto, everybody's weird. And it's our responsibility to figure out why and not judge them because of it. That is my message. And what can people look for in the future? I'm putting out tons of nutritional wellness content, so be looking out for that. Hopefully more time on the Lemon Water podcast, because this was an exceptional experience for me. It was just really grand. Tercel, I appreciate you for having me on. And so I hope to be back so I can do this again with you or anybody else that want to sit down and talk. I got a couple business ventures coming up, so I won't disclose those. But when you see me, you'll see me.
That's fair, man. Well, all's well that ends well, guys. And just remember, man, when life gives you lemons, you make lemon water. Lemon water. When life gives you lemons, make lemon